It's Fire 716.
Let's go.
It's Big Frank in the morning, Jay Cherie keeping it going. We got them hot topics, local news, and BGC flowing. We got Big Kev on the air, Dark Knight flying in here. It's Fire 716 and we rocking it here. Hey.
Fire 716, your boy Big Frank. You're locked into Big Frank in the morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this may find you across the world, in the universe. What it is, what's up? It is Friday over here.
Yeah.
It should be Friday over there. It should be Friday every, okay. Locked in with me is my homegirl D Money Mac. What it is? Kev on there. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Daniel the Dark Knight. Welcome back.
Yes.
You know,
I only been gone for a day. You make it seem like I was gone.
a day
long.
gone.
I was
Yeah.
gone.
It's like 1,000 years.
Don't
dang.
start singing songs to me.
We have a special guest today. Dominique Johnson was with us. Just we'll get into it. Okay? How you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling good.
Good.
Happy to be here.
Absolutely. And soon, guys, for those who are looking for Big Girl Chronicles, she shall return one day. Jesus is on his way back, and J Street is as well. So one day. How was your yesterday? Let's talk about it.
Yesterday I feel like was a really good, like a success from the meeting and stuff like that. I have to work on my time management in general, but I really do feel like it was such a good meeting. Food was slamming, everybody was cool. And then after that I did nothing. I cleaned the kitchen because but other than that, I just chilled and was like, okay, I will start tomorrow. What I gotta do. So it was a good day. Oh my gosh. And the people emailed me back. I was telling you in the meeting. So I may be doing some brand ambassador content creating for a plus size dating app.
Let's go.
So I'm like,
Get it.
okay.
That thing up, mama. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm super stoked. I was like scared. I was like, are they gonna email me back?
Yeah.
And then they emailed me and they text me on TikTok. And they're like, we really like your content and stuff like that. And was going in. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. My grandma gets all sketched out. She's like, well, let's see the reviews for this.
Kevin, how was you yesterday?
It was yesterday.
No, Kevin, how was your week?
Right.
How was your year? Okay. How was it? I'm dragging.
I have been going through it.
Oh.
But God, my strength is amazing.
That's right.
When I'm tapped in. So I've been great. My yesterday was amazing. Challenging, but got through it. And to God be the glory.
To God.
Yeah.
Dominique, how was you
yes.
yesterday?
My yesterday was good. I got to see a bunch of students as they're doing like their graduation week at the university. And so it's just really great to be a part of that process of people getting their education and going out into the world. So that was great to see.
Oh,
That's
man.
amazing. That's amazing.
Yes.
Daniel.
Oh, I had a terrible day yesterday.
Don't even look my direction.
I woke up. I was depressed all day.
Dang.
But shoot, I took care of my niece though, so and they stopped me.
Yesterday we had the meeting yesterday that went well.
Yeah.
Good food, good conversation. Just the plans for Hamley Holdings LLC, where we're going, the marketing, the event space, all these things. And I built the wall, so
Yeah.
That thing was good.
And I guess I can preach it for 37 seconds.
Come on, let it
because Hebrews chapter 11, verse number 3 talks about the faith, but he says that God created something out of nothing, and the fact that we are made in His image, in His likeness, just like you can really create a thing and make a thing happen out of what you have present. I said, Lord Jehovah, and because I was going to throw this wall out. This is not what it was supposed to be. And we worked it out and it became. Those are online. Good morning. Let us know how your yesterday was. When we get back, we're going to get into a quick dialogue with our special guest here on today, right here on Fire 716. Let's get a song playing at 2. We'll be back in about 2 to 2.5 minutes.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Dante Miles, a.k.a. D-Belly, a.k.a. your city councilman. I'm here at Fire 716 Radio, and I'm asking you to tune in on Thursdays at 11 on our show, The Vault. We're going to be having some conversations that's super relevant, but very important. And sometimes it may be a little uncomfortable, but we're going to make sure that we get our voices out. Come tune in on Thursdays at 11 a.m. and make sure you download the Fire 716 app. See you then.
Big Frank in the morning on Fire 716.
This is DMP Speaks coming to you. I am a board certified Christian counselor. I'm also a life coach. I am a family restoration specialist. I help build, rebuild, and grow your family. Maybe you're having some communication problems. Maybe you guys are just yelling and screaming and you guys are just not getting along. And if you want access to me for your 30-minute consultation call, follow me on all my social media platforms. TikTok, Facebook at DMP Speaks. And if you go to YouTube and Instagram, it's at I am DMP Speaks. Download Fire 716 and click the link.
I hold it round my area with goal of answering out. So when we fly, they won't have to answer who wow. My niggas holding ground. I'm sitting warm and comfortably like the Ray felt. My Province State mail. I'm New York State real. Seems like we all got some family locked in J-Cell. My worth to free this life will a pill. We can't stress a lot. We could love a lot. We can't stress a lot. We could love a lot. We can't stress a lot. We could love a lot. We can't stress a lot. We could love a lot.
I was in some deep shit, 3 trips just to see shit through. Was on some I come out with heaters, hope you keep on with you. Hustle dollars made foundation, keep your daily one too. Pray to God your people made it, most ain't making it through. Niggas fall off at the peak like where you taking me to. With never knowing all the good a little patience could do. I caught the big truck, little nigga, I ain't racing with you. I got the big bucks, invested all my paper, I'm cool. I break you the rules. What you think's amazing is fool. I made you remove the fallacies they lay when you schooled. I paid up my dues. Now a nigga wake up, eat food. It's spacious, we move. Got a spot where you can't take up no room. I'm like, how many more games your team get swept by the broom? And how many more lanes gonna get accepted? It's cool. Now plenty, wanting no games, ain't have a penny for food. Came mechanic ready. Y'all niggas can't give me no tools. It was dim. Shine brighter when they hope that you lose. Lay the facts. I live like
My mom.
Fire 716, your boy Big Frank, locked in the Big Frank in the morning. Locked in the room with me is D Money Mac, Daniel the Dark Knight, Kevin on air. Special guest we have on is Dominique Johnson. How you living?
I'm living good. I'm living good right now. It's a lot going on, a lot of positive stuff, and so.
So just light history, because sometimes you ain't got to go back too far. Okay,
in '98,
we met in, I think it was through like Movement Fitness.
Mm-hmm.
So those who did not know, I worked for like Movement Fitness. I was a teacher, instructor. They said, "How is that? You so big?" Because God can. Because God is able. Oh my gosh! We did after line dance classes, Saturday academies. We just work well together, and she does so much. And just give us a little bit about what you got going on currently, and what you're doing.
So currently, I just wrapped up my master's degree at Kenesha. So
okay, master's. Congratulations
about that. Yeah. And then I did create Coaching for the Culture. So that is a company where we really focus on helping people of color understand wellness, right?
Yes.
So to shift from surviving to thriving.
Yes.
And then when those like self skills that work for us at home aren't working anymore, or if a life coach isn't what we need, we help them connect to mental health counseling in the community. So that is like our primary goal. And then I'm also at DuVille University in the Higher Education Opportunity Department.
Sweet. Are you still doing the Body That Moves and those things as well?
So Beauty That Moves is on hold right now due to just everything that happened with the storm. Our space took a lot of damage, and so we are not open right now.
Okay, understood. Listen, I said it earlier. just being willing to okay, this is the moment in time to just let something go. Not a problem.
Right.
Because there's things.
Took a lot of prayer.
No, let's go ahead and get into it because we talk about like I told you earlier, but on the station, I had the conversation with the Lord driving from here to home, and that's only 3 blocks away. And I asked the question, because this is for me, how do I get out of survival mode?
Right.
Because survival mode, it causes me exhaustion trying to just maintain, make sure that don't fall, things don't fail. And he said to me, be willing to die. And I was like, God, that's heavy. That's a lot. But it just translated to the fact, be willing to let things go.
Mm-hmm.
Be willing to say, you know what, this isn't working. You can stop this, shut this down, send it back. It's okay, and not be driven or moved by somebody else's opinions or thoughts or how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
So he was checking me all week. I don't understand because somebody reported that I had daddy issues. I told him, keep calm, killer. keep calm. You might be right. But then again, because the situation is, and I just opened up, that I'm a man of faith.
Yeah.
So for me, by myself, to quit a job, to leave, we out of here.
Fact.
But now here we are with the family. Now I'm borderline willing, as yet again, family, we about to go through a little season.
Yeah.
God, but let's go. Challenge is that I'm in the house of a man who doesn't have the faith that I have. Doesn't comprehend the faith that I have. So decisions that I have to make don't make sense logically.
Makes sense.
Which now causes a ripple. He know the Lord. That if you're watching, too bad. But he got that prison love for God. You know, while I'm in, we all in. Now I'm out. You know? And so what happens is that being cussed out, the friction and the chaos, watch it, that has the possibility to happen, is something that I have a challenge with.
Gotcha.
So like I said, okay, but this is something I have to overcome,
right?
Because my success is built on me not being in survival mode. Like getting to the other side is like, go ahead, breathe. When you start breathing, you can start talking. Absolutely.
No, that's real.
I don't think a lot of people realize that. I feel like that's so key in the conversation about getting out of survival mode, is that so many of us feel like, you know, just that whole culture of like hustle.
Yeah.
No days.
Man.
I don't need to sleep. I don't need to do this. I have to grind, right? That can only last for so long. And then you get to a certain point where you're actually now, you're prohibiting yourself from being successful because you're not even giving yourself like the sleep, right?
Absolutely.
The pouring into yourself, all those things you really need to switch into thriving in the space that you want to. You're not giving that to yourself.
Right.
And so it just becomes self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
And people don't know how to kind of turn that off and get out of that space. It's something that a lot of us weren't taught, right? Because we watched our families being in survival mode, and they've watched their families being in survival mode. And so it's a learned behavior at this point. And we kind of got to slow down and start to have these conversations. Like for me, I'm like, I don't want my daughter to be living in survival mode.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
And I just want her to know how to clean the bathroom by herself.
By herself. No, valid. And that is so true. And it's like, I have to, like I said, it makes sense for a season to grind, to hustle, and get it. But at some point, there's some things you need to do that doesn't give you immediate financial reward.
Right.
But that you need to do it so that the reward down the line can be efficient and worth something.
Absolutely.
And I think that sometimes, and I'm an example, that's the challenge. Granted, I just need to sit down and write out and execute these ideas that I believe that God has given me or to do that doesn't yield.
Right.
Typing up a proposal don't give me no money right now.
Sure don't.
Typing up the outline of a thing or creating a thing doesn't give me immediate, but it takes sometimes hours of my time to research, do the due diligence, and type it up to make it what it needs to be.
Right.
But Dad, my time is my money.
Yeah.
But it's like, Dad, oh man, I could have been Ubering, or I could have been doing this, and I could have made 150. I could have been doing. But the truth of the matter is, if you really trust that it's gonna be okay, and you really have a God, you got me. Let me execute what you've given me well.
Yeah.
So that when the opportunity comes, I'm prepared for it.
Yeah.
The proposal's already written or the idea is already gone. Because all it takes is a moment for your life to change. but we're so busy trying to maintain, just exhausting ourselves.
Right.
Y'all see me?
Yeah.
Everything isn't for us. And I think that's really hard for a lot of us to realize when we're in survival mode, and we know that we see that down the line, there's going to be like this reward, whether it's financial or it's something in our career. And so we are throwing everything at the wall, right? I got to do this. I got to go there. I got to do this. I got to help these people. I got to go over there. I got to write this proposal. And then I got to go do this. And then I got to do a backflip. And it's like, honestly, we have to learn that everything isn't for us. And I feel like that was the beginning of me shifting from survival mode to thriving, is when I started to say, like, Dom, you can't be involved in everything, right? Everything isn't your mission. It's not, everything isn't part of your purpose. And how do you get to space where you're calm enough and collected enough that you can start to identify where those spaces really are? And it took work. It did. It took a lot of work. Me deciding to close my business, and when everything happened with the roof and stuff like that was hard. But I realized, like, I had got to a season of thriving, and then I started to do the behavior again. And I think that's another part of the conversation we don't talk about, is sometimes we digress, right? We know that we should be doing a certain thing, but then it's like so many opportunities come and you're just like, well, I am thriving and I could continue to thrive. I just do more than this. No. Everything is not tied to your purpose, right? And some things are for a season. And I feel like Beauty That Moves was definitely, it was like part of a season for me. And then it got to the point where I had to start saying, like, what am I supposed to do right now? Like, what's really going to make me thrive in this season instead of surviving? Because trying to be a mom, you know, run 2 businesses, work at the university, and be full-time, like at school, finishing up. I was like, you have shifted back into survival mode. Like, how did we get here, Dom? And what does that look like? And I feel like God started moving stuff out the way. He sat me down, honestly. It's like, no.
And to be that person, that's what he does. I'm gonna tell you a couple times, okay? I'm gonna give you a little suggestion, give you a little nudge, but eventually, because there's a place that I really want you to occupy, that I will put pressure on you and take some things away.
I definitely because I'm feeling that for sure. Just with some of the things that I'm doing and trying to accomplish, it's like I want to do so much, but I'm having an understanding, like, okay, I see now why people are making money doing certain things. Like, they go after it, they really do and focus on that one thing. You know what I mean? So I definitely understand that. I'm getting to that point.
And that's the drive. And this is where I am too. And y'all judge me, it's like testimony of a friend. But going after it. And when you're in survival mode, you don't have enough strength to really go after it, because you're going after everything.
You have the capacity to really pour into that one thing, and you don't realize that going after everything is limiting you from getting this thing over here that you want.
It almost seems like you're like an opportunist.
Right.
That comes, you're trying to jump at it, but you know what's for you.
And I think it's hard. I think I always say generationally, that's kind of like my thing. It's like we are trying to find something that works, right? Instead of because we're in survival mode, instead of trying to find our purpose and like what really aligns with us. And sometimes, you know, you will have a season of survival mode that gets you to your purpose, right? But I feel like it's knowing when to turn it off, right? And that's hard for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Listen, we're going to continue this conversation when we get back. Also, we're going to tap into the question of the day. I'm enjoying this conversation just even right now, but the next part plays a role in this. And you're like, Frank, how? Watch God. Keep going down. So we'll be back. Make sure you guys make yourself available for the Juneteenth concert that is taking place on that day, the 19th of June, which is a Monday. I'm looking for the flyer. Let's hear. Let's go. Bam! They're having a concert. So live bands, dancers, spoken word, Jersey Club, poets, Chicago House, R&B. And if you want to be a part, don't laugh, because you already know I'm not necessarily a fan of how this is articulated yet. I encourage you all, if you want to be a part of the show, give a call out to Nathan the Prolific Palmer at 716-251-6967 or Jacob J. Fleming at 903-272-3941. You're locked in to Big Frank in the Morning. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Let's go.
TQ, I Am, the Queen I Am, with Felicia Gaddis. Her story, her experience, her wisdom. Tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. at Fire 716 Radio. TQIM inspires, uplift, and transform. Tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. TQIM inspires, uplift, and transform. Tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. What's good? It's your boy Kev on there and D Money Mac. Tune in every Friday at 10 p.m. to talk about conspiracies and all the truth they hide. Do you think the moon landing was true? That's a good question. Find out this Friday at 10 p.m.
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, DMP Speaks, and I'm coming to radio. That's right. I'm coming to Fire 716 Radio. I'm going to be giving you 30 minutes of motivation, inspiration, strength, and power every Saturday at 2 p.m. starting May the 7th. I'm telling you guys, you don't want to miss this movie. Let's go get it, y'all. Follow me on all my social media outlets. That's Facebook, that's YouTube, that's TikTok, and Instagram.
Fire 716 Radio, giving you your daily dose of inspiration.
Fire 716 Radio. I think Frank in the morning. That was 2 minutes. Because your boy.
I played a lot.
I was tapped in. But this morning, we're getting into the question of the day. But before we get there, I was really just explaining that sometimes balance it's not 50-50. Something's going to suffer at some point, but it just shouldn't be the same thing all the time.
Right.
It's an ever moving scale. And one of my mentors taught me that because part of survival mode, you're trying to please everybody all the time.
Can't do that.
You cannot.
That's a toxic trait.
People please.
Wow.
People please.
Yes.
Valid.
What?
You gonna have to take this loss today.
Facts.
I never would have. Well, think it today because you just got to. I can't. Like even told in the meeting yesterday, I can no longer let my family suffer for the weight of what this does and produces.
Facts.
So I need y'all.
Yeah.
I can't go everywhere. I'm somebody. I thank God for that.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. But I can't be everywhere and I can't do everything. And I told them yesterday that I shouldn't be on every show either. I can't be at every show doing everything.
Absolutely.
Because I know what my purpose is and I know what this is supposed to bring. But in knowing that, I have to execute in that.
Right.
But because of survival mode, I'm not fully executing in.
Yeah.
Like if I know that this is going to be my stream of income, that I ain't got to be here all day, every day.
Yeah.
Let me set the procedures in order, put the people in place so that it can do what it's supposed to do and yield the revenue because it's not complicated.
Not at all.
But because I've been in survival mode, I need money today.
Facts.
I need it to, where in reality is if you just go ahead and hit the street and go grind, I got you. And I got you in some larger lump sums than what you've been getting.
Yeah.
But you're not doing your due diligence in what you have in your hands that I've given you.
Right.
And balancing that out. So yes, go ahead.
Just thinking about that and just how that also ties back into survival more. You're like, no, I need the money today, right? It's like we always think we need more than what we currently have. And a lot of times we're not even doing our due diligence for what we actually have right now. And it comes from a mindset of lack, right? We're used to not having, we're used to like having to like go towards something. And so we can't even focus on when, hey, I actually accomplished a little bit. That's not right now. Or I got something right now that I can do something with.
Yeah.
Because we're so ready to just keep grinding. And it's like we miss a lot of stuff with that. Survival mode is really
man. It's so hard though, because I don't know. I guess it's always how you was raised, right? So like I found myself when I'm not doing something, I feel lazy. And it might not even be working or grinding. Just if I'm not doing something, I'm being lazy. Like I be wanting to not do nothing all the time, but because if I don't do something, I'm being lazy. I always end up doing something. I say yes to things that I really don't want to do. It's like, but I'm here.
Yes, it's toxic. Yes, yeah, sure.
I don't want to seem like I'm being lazy.
We've tied our value to production, right? And so it makes us uncomfortable to rest because then it's like, am I not being valuable right now, or should I be giving this time or energy somewhere else? Is it okay for me to actually rest? I feel like that's a conversation. Like we equate rest with like less than or weakness or you not doing enough, and you know. When do we get to the point when we allow ourselves to rest? Like I've done enough for the day and not feel lazy, not feel like we have to go out and get involved with something else. That's where I'm at in my season right now, is not jumping into the next thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's valid, because your boy, I'll be like, what you gotta do today? Nothing. Then by 12 noon, everything.
Everything.
I was just chilling. And now, so I think that balance is important, and really making your no's know and making them make sense. You know, like, no, I cannot, and being okay. With that person feeling some type of way.
100%.
I love the Lord, but sometimes I'm not coming. I'm not coming to church, but I'm not coming to dysfunction. I'm not coming to this.
I don't want to watch your kids today.
God did not make this mandatory. He did not say I have to go to this in order to execute my assignment in his house. Not even
unless your assignment is in his house.
No, fact. I wasn't gonna say nothing because I was gonna be like, I was gonna let him say a statement and go and fly away. But and that's valid. But you know, certain people have certain my commitment. Not just 100%. To God is going to be what it is, whether in church, out of church, down the street, upside down, in the alley. God, you're doing something. You know?
Brick. Oh my gosh.
I personally have an assignment to the house. To make sure that the experience that God can flow the way that He wants to, and being His hands to do so, being His mouthpiece to do so. So you know, my commitment is a little different. But everybody ain't got that responsibility.
Everybody ain't got that.
Everybody like, hey, listen, Lord, where you at? I'm here.
Ain't got to be at every usher.
No, chief ruler. Yeah. But even then, I'd be like, all right. They had if y'all watching, don't be offended. They had texted me because I do the schedule. And calling in, talking about they can't do it, they can't make it. And I changed it one time. I changed it. They texted me. I said, I'm not replying. I'm done. I said, why? I have nothing. Is there a better way? I said, this is all that I can do for now.
Yeah.
This is the best that I got.
Giving you the best that I got.
These call-ins for the kingdom, I don't comprehend. Okay, so
I'm not picking up the phone.
I'm not picking
You're not going to call in on Jesus.
From you take care of it. Thank you so very much, because I just
appreciate it.
I didn't know. Before I was trying to figure out reading messages talking about I can't make it, I can't do it then, and trying to, and I did well. You didn't come back with more messages. You got to be out of your mind.
You got it.
You do with your job like that.
Yes,
I love y'all, all my ministers, elders, preachers, and pastors. I love y'all.
I guess you're gonna be there and you're gonna be teaching.
Valid. Listen, so let's go down to the more. We get into the question of the day. So, the question of the day. And I'm work Kevin for two seconds for the question of the day.
The question of the day is: your partner cheats on you. Yeah, a whole lot, but claims it was a mistake and they won't do it again. Do you give them another chance or move on? Is cheating ever forgivable?
Depends.
This is my question. This is an innocent song.
How deep is my relationship?
How did you
get here?
That is not what I thought you were going for. I thought you was going to sing a totally different song. And I was like, yeah. Oh, no.
That was a good song for it, too. That's exactly what it's about.
For me, if infidelity has shown up, it doesn't you just don't fall into the cat.
Yeah, it's not a
Alicia Keys.
I'm screaming.
Alicia Keys.
You know, you just don't. You just don't run around and I fell on the dog.
No fact.
Are you sure?
Because
I'm just playing.
Alicia Keys. There is a thought process prior to this of outside desire.
You had a whole conversation with yourself.
You
done called your friend, your girlfriend.
You done got all the wrong
homie.
Like your desire to run around the circus. You've been plotting low key.
Looking for confirmation and everything.
No, rather. And then but then you're not communicating. And then if you're not communicating at home, but that there is a desire or appetite for a thing, you're doing stuff not fulfilled. Now, I'm not granting excuses for infidelity, but you ain't just mistakenly.
Fell into it.
Did it again. Even when you hit sip on the scissor and you're leaning on the liqueur, it is just giving you access to operate in the fault that you've been operating in. And there's decisions to be made. And I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And whether and for me is how did we get here? What was the misstep?
Yeah.
What did you do? What did I do? And is that resolvable?
Well,
that might be after she got a concussion, because I'm
not a concussion.
No, I'm a man.
First, and then we might have to go recover it. So
we're gonna
ladies,
throw the gloves on. Please.
I don't want no problems.
So I feel this way. I feel as far as is cheating forgivable, it depends. I feel like it depends. It depends on like the situation. You know, are we in a bad state and like the cheating, like this person was looking for comfort in somebody else, but we have history and you know we want to still make it work. I don't know. Like it depends. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and be like, yeah, no, I never took nobody back after cheating. Like that's a lie. Yeah.
Put it up there.
Yeah. Like you know, like cheating happens. Yeah. And even just vice versa, like you know, cheating on somebody. So it's just like, you know, I've been on both sides, and I personally feel that is one of the things that when I was in a relationship with this person, and I say it's cheating. I wasn't physically cheating. I was emotionally cheating. Like I was texting somebody I shouldn't be texting, having inappropriate. You know what, Daniel? I'm telling my story.
Story, okay.
I like you try to categorize your
no. Because there's a different feeling. Look, there is a different feeling of somebody texting somebody else and talking to them and you know whatever, and then physically doing it. Yeah, like that's.
But don't you ask my wife?
Don't you kind of get the same dopamine?
This dope hit different. Seeing
dope is dope.
Seeing dope and taking dope.
Yeah.
No, that's
yeah. You can see the crack rock, but you smoke it.
I do think like it, you know, it's fulfilling a need, right? Yeah. Whether it's through emotional, you know, infidelity or through its physical infidelity. And you know, I also like to say in these situations, this is a very personalized experience, right?
Yeah.
So when people ask the questions of is something forgivable, it's like for you, right? Yeah. I can't tell nobody else what's forgivable. Yeah. Sis could be willing to take him back about 50 times and say she forgave him. And sis, that's you. If you feel like you forgave him and that's what works for you, sis. Hey, all right.
That is the mountain you are willing to climb.
I tell you, you know nothing about it. Like, you know, I would have had a limit. But again, who's to say my limit? Somebody else could have a limit of none and be looking at me like I'm crazy because I done took my man back a couple times, or you know, whatever the case may be. It's a very individualized experience, and it's like, who are you as a person? What does forgiveness look like for you, right? So a lot of people say that they forgive, but they ain't forgive.
You said
it's a very individualized experience.
Okay, individualized.
Yeah, it's a very individual experience.
No, you're educated.
Yeah, no, you said it was something. You didn't say that. Right. You said a word that I believe that's what it be.
Right.
It was real. Dang, we're gonna rewind the track after the show. I heard it too, but I always want to pretend like I knew what you meant. I said, "Oh yeah." Okay, I said, "Come through, Jay Sheree." With the big word. You know,
big word.
Oh man, you are funny.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like it depends. I mean, even relationship wise, just the people. There's some people that like I've been with, and they did do something, and that was just like I'm good because I was about to follow it up with something real ignorant, but I would just stop it there. But it's like you know, and then there's some people where like I was just blindly in love. You know what I'm saying? Like just emotionally, just red flags everywhere. don't see nothing. Yes, straight up. I'm being dead serious. Like where that person just completely, you know, they went buck wild, and then afterwards it's like, no, I'm serious.
Like,
Buck
wild.
wild.
But like buck as in buck.
Buck wild. And then after getting out of the situation and realizing like, okay, why was my feelings so deeply invested in this person? Why did I let them continue to do certain things and stuff like that? Yeah. So,
but I think like a lot of times when you have conversations about cheating, right? We're talking about like, okay, emotional or physical, and it's like a crazy situation, or you look back at you like, oh, okay, I was so in love or blindly in love that I just let this happen. But I think the bigger part about like, can you get past cheating is like when it's beyond the blindly in love part, right? Like when it's intentional. So you cheated. So like you said, what's up? What happened? Like, where did this start? Right? And not placing blame like, oh, she wasn't giving it to me enough. Did you communicate? What did y'all try to do to fix it? Wasn't an intentional process. If there was something that was lacking on either side, like, you know what I mean?
Did you add seasoning to the chicken? Like the chicken, I don't know what I got here. If the chicken wasn't seasoned, you communicate. Hey, add some more salt, pepper, sazon, chicken base, garlic, onion, some Cajun spice. Come on, get it. Can I get a marinade? But I agree to the part of communication because I just think that to be taking, I'll say this as from a man's point of view or perspective, like coming into, I find myself caught up into a place. Like how did I find myself caught up? Meaning that I didn't communicate that there's a need somewhere, or I communicated and it wasn't, the response wasn't, you ain't changed the seasoning, and so now it's like I'm no longer fulfilled here. Instead of either breaking it off or just, hey, listen, I love you, I do, I have a desire and I have a need here. And if you love me, we got to come up with the master plan,
right?
Where you step outside your comfort zone and vice versa, or whatever the case. I don't know what's. I just feel like that was a lot. But then if not, I still have this void when I leave the house. I have this emptiness. It's like as a man, maturity, you have to still continue to communicate, make some sound decisions,
right?
Because when you start playing patty cake with the biggest man, you liable to get burned.
Because you got an oven in this.
Like, there's a lot of stuff that can happen. And for men, unfortunately, nobody likes this part of the text that the Bible talks about man loving his wife like Christ loved the church, and the church hasn't always been faithful. She hasn't always been proper. She hasn't always done the right thing. And
she be wild.
No, she be wild. she be down today going around.
You know what I'm saying? Like, brought you out of
But
Egypt,
at some point, God walk away.
God does not necessarily walk away, but what he does is he allows you to live in your devices. Okay. Because he's not, I'm not going to, I don't know why I say it like this. I'm not about to yoke you up. I'm not about to throw you against the wall and force you to do a thing. I'm gonna let you know what the benefits are of being here. I'm gonna let you know that this moment doesn't last always of hardship. But the moment that you decide to leave me and go somewhere else, all right, I'm not.
I ain't chasing.
But if you choose to come back, I'm here.
Right.
And he's
come on, Jesus.
But that's the part I get into it when they talk about asking the woman to be submissive, if you will. I get that's burden. I get that challenge. I get the challenges. But that's a burden. But the man has a burden too, because I'm supposed to cater to you. I'm supposed to be available to you. I'm supposed to be these things. And even if you go and step out, I'm supposed to be here to get to forgive. I'm supposed to be this for you. And nobody's talked about that, and that's a whole nother show.
Right.
It is
a whole nother show. This conversation but watch it, as man to be human, that's not easy.
No.
That's why and this is just me from my belief system and my foundation is that when you come to get reconciled back to Jesus, I come and set some things back in order, that you have the capacity, because you didn't always do things right.
Right.
And let's just talk realistic. Some families who are doing well now. Some grandparents who are doing well now.
No,
because people love to talk about that, like, oh, what is wrong with the relationships today? Everybody leaving each other, and my grandparents have been together 50 years, and it's like, and you don't know how many times your granddaddy stepped out, your grandma knocked him upside the head. You got random baby, like it's a lot of stuff that they don't win.
Now,
y'all got distant cousins.
Now I know a lot. My grandfather, Rolling Stone, got kids everywhere. But his mother made sure all his baby mamas brought all their kids to her house over the summer.
That's wild.
And I was like, ooh, that sounds like a lot. You know what I'm saying? But like, same thing. Yeah. As a man that's married, it's definitely a hard thing to really think about, because it's like, as a man of God, I always forgive. But as Daniel, how many times can Daniel forgive? Is where I meet myself at a crossroad. Yeah. You know what I mean? No, I don't think my wife will ever cheat on me. But if she ever did, I think I had this conversation where I was like, you know what? I was like, I would be upset. I would be mad. And I would leave for a minute. I was like, it's not like I'm gonna kick you out the house, because I ain't never gonna. The kids ain't did nothing wrong. So why am I making the kids suffer for something that you did or whatever? I was like, I will leave for a minute, because I really want to get myself together before I come back over here to have a real conversation.
Yeah, I think what you said was so valid though. Like, as someone who's like with God, that's what I say for myself. I'm with him. I'm with him, but also I'm Dominique, right? Yeah. So the essence of who I am as a person, I really can say, is very forgiving. Yeah. It's just that unconditional positive regard. I think that's really like my purpose in being a counselor shines through in that, because that's just who I am. Yeah. Now in my inner relationships though, it's like sometimes it's like you say, it's like how forgiving can I be as Dominique, right? With transgressions and things like that. And I feel like this is a conversation that is not had enough, right? Yeah. Because you go to the church, which you go to the church and some of the, the elders or the women, just forgive him. Sis, you ain't tell me how. You ain't tell me what I'm supposed to be. You
ain't give me no verses. You ain't pray for me.
What I'm supposed to be. Girl, pray for me, because it ain't just gonna be no forgiveness. Yeah. Right. And that's what you will get a lot of times. Is sometimes you do have that disconnect between what you feel like you're supposed to be doing. You are supposed to do as someone with God, and then who you are, like, you know what I mean, as a person. And
I think the importance is taking time to get out of your feelings. Because I'm just saying that because that initial happen, that initial finding out, you gonna react to it in an emotional way, regardless if you are one of those quiet emotional people or you one of those loud emotional people. I'm a quiet emotional person. I'm a quiet emotional person, so like my whole demeanor is gonna change, and that's why I need to leave. Because if I don't leave, I could
don't say it, Dan.
I could do something that later on I'll just have to be liable for. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it might not even have to do with necessarily putting my hands on nobody, but because I know me, I could do something. Anything is possible on my end of it, right? Like,
I never would have thought Minister Frank would hit his knock clean out.
He didn't either.
I think that's good to acknowledge though, right? Like acknowledging who we are as people at our core when things are emotionally high, right? Like, what am I?
Good morning, Felicia.
Yeah, I had to get to a point where I'm like, everybody knows Dom, like, this Dom, but my fiance, he knows Dom, right? So I am a different person when I am in an emotionally heightened space, right? And I had to become like aware and accountable of who that person is, even when I'm triggered, right? So I know what I could do when I'm triggered. The whole house could be upside down, you know what I mean? But I don't want to do that. So like you said, sometimes you do have to take time and space away, right? But what I wanted to acknowledge is it's not from your feelings, because a lot of us do that. We take ourselves away from our feelings and don't realize that really adds to us harboring resentment, because we didn't even give ourselves time to feel it, right?
Valid.
Somebody hurt you and you didn't give yourself time to experience the hurt. So how do you expect yourself to be able to experience the forgiveness, right? Yeah. Forgiveness will just continue to be pushed down because I'm still hurt because I didn't even get to initially hurt.
Right. And I was going to say that because one thing that when I talk to people a lot, even as a preacher, man of God, I tell them, have the moment because you need that. Yeah. But and this is just how we do it. Once you have this moment and you deal with this pain, this frustration, and what's going on, then we can start that healing process.
Right.
Make it make sense of the Bible. I feel like preaching now. Let's go. Jesus is on the cross being crucified, and they're torturing him. And he says, Father, forgive them. Because I don't have the capacity right now to forgive them. Because the human in me, they're killing me.
Yeah.
Right.
And right now, I don't have the moment. I can't do it, God.
Right.
So God, Father, you forgive them for me. Because they don't know really what they're doing. Because I'm really feeling some type of way. I'm trying to keep true to the commitment, but I feel some type of way. And I think that you got to be able to have those moments that, yes, I feel some type of way. The challenge is that I don't know how to gauge your timeline, or how long it takes, or those things as well. But you have to figure out, when does it become toxic for you?
Right.
Like, I'm feeling
on both sides.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Because I want
it's toxic to not forgive, to have somebody around saying that you're going to forgive him and not forgive him. It
absolutely,
toxic.
absolutely,
that is valid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to deal with that emotional side, but also making sure you have a outlet for healing. Because if not, you can be held stuck right there.
Yeah.
Always in that place, stuck in that cycle and in that position, and not evolving or growing to the next because you've been hurt. But then also taking the lesson that's here.
Right.
That, okay, all right, I'm hurt, I've been damaged. If I choose forgiveness, forgiveness is not designed for you just to be taking lack and slack. No. What's the plan of action?
Yeah.
What's the resolve?
What's going to change?
What's going to change? Because if we're going to keep doing this, you can go ahead and step. My wife said to me yesterday, I don't know what she was watching, who she was talking to. She said, she's mad random. You see my wife ain't gangster. Okay? Like, don't you embarrass me out here.
Whoa, gangster.
What? She says, just period. I don't know. Just don't embarrass me.
I thought that's right, Tyra.
TikTok out your hand.
No, for real.
Ain't nothing happening.
I've just been sitting here all day.
Where that come from? Like,
but even that is like, dang, you don't want to be that. You don't want to be that embarrassment to your partner and those things. So I encourage everybody. You got to communicate because everybody's story is different.
Yes.
Because the truth of the matter is, your granddad. That ain't be your granddad.
Sure, your grandma was
grandma
out there
might be,
fast.
I mean, and it does. It affects, like, if you have children, in my life and just the experiences with my mom and her being younger too. I experienced, not to like just take the conversation left, but when their relationship, cheating happened with her, the guy she was engaged to long time ago, but he was abusive. And so, like, you're not only seeing your parent doing something that they know they shouldn't be doing and being around for them, but you're also being around for the backlash for that and seeing that as well. So it's like, I feel like it's not just, especially like when you have kids, it's like, it's not just about you.
Right.
And as much as you want to indulge in your feelings or, this person's doing whatever for you, like you have other people to think about because they're watching you. Right. Whatever you do, they're absorbing that. So
I think it's just like the communication piece that we talk about with the partners, right? I've learned as a mom communicating with my kid because sometimes it's like we're in survival mode. Our kids they create their own dialogue, right? When you're not talking to them, they're gonna they need to process it too, right? And so they're gonna process their own dialogue. And I think I realized that I did that as a child. And so when it comes to like my daughter and the kids, I realized like, no, I have to hold space to have conversations with them too about what's happening and allowing them to process it. Yeah. Because if I don't talk to them about like, people aren't always good people, right? Yeah. And it doesn't mean they're going to be a bad person forever, but sometimes things happen. And, especially in the conversation of forgiveness, right? We want to model what that looks like. Even when we aren't sure, it's okay to tell your kids that you aren't sure, right? To be like, Absolutely. This is something that's new for mommy too, and I don't know what that looks like, and I'm trying to figure it out, and I want to make sure that like you're okay too. Like, what are you feeling in the process? Because you're right, there are little people who are watching, and if you don't say something, they don't have the life experiences that you have to be able to understand what's going on. Right. So they're gonna just come up with something in their mind. And it might not be the best thing. That might be like, oh, okay, it's okay to let somebody cheat on you or put their hands on you. Right. It's okay if a man cheat on you to take them back. You know what I mean? Or if it's your son, oh, okay, that's normal.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And that's, I always find myself when we have these kind of conversations in my own space, because I having experienced a whole lot of things. As a child, I was very it wasn't so much I was sheltered. I was taught early on that I stay in my place.
Yeah.
So anytime an adult was doing anything, I can't even tell you what happened because I was told to stay in my place. I stayed in my place. I was gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like I never had to sit down. I never got sit down conversations about anything that anybody was going through because it was never my business. And I made it my business to not make it my business. But now living in a house full of women, it's hard to fight that capacity that I have of well, why do I need to have this conversation? Because I've never had that. I've never had to have anybody have that conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why? And it's weird because my daughter asks a lot of questions. And sometimes I'll be like, why is she asking me these questions? Because I'm like, girl, this ain't got, like, what did you asking me? What did y'all talk about in school? What is happening around me? You know what I mean? Because in this house, ain't none of this happening. So what is happening around me? But I definitely had to learn to, you know, sit there and just listen to it, even if it's dumb or stupid. Or even if I feel like it's dumb, even if I feel like it's dumb or stupid, you know what I mean? Like to sit down and listen to it, because how I see it is if I don't, she gonna find somebody else.
Yeah, somebody else gonna tell him.
And then if she finds somebody else and it's not me, and if it's another guy, that's a problem.
They don't be knowing what the hell they talking about. So
that's a problem.
Say what they gonna say,
right?
And it's not. I won't say it's always malicious, but it's usually like it depends on who that person had, like the capacity to have in their life. You know what I mean? What are they there for? Because if you benefit from something in this conversation, I don't know that you're giving me the right information. And so I always wonder about that with the youth, especially. It's like it's better to hear it. I don't care how awkward it is. I'm probably gonna cringe, right, with my kids when they have certain conversations with me. But I'm like, okay, like let those first feelings pass and have this conversation. I don't want my kid learning about their period from their classmates. I don't want them, learning about any of these concepts from people who aren't me or their parents, their parental figures. But back to the first combo, I think the concept of like cheating and is it forgivable? I feel like it's something that can be forgivable if you do the work, right? And I think that conversation needs to be had more in spaces like this. Are you willing to do the work?
Right.
What is the capacity of the relationship in the two people? What is your capacity as an individual, right? Some people are cheating because they are unhealed.
Valid.
You have a lot of things that develop from your childhood or feelings of like not being enough, feeling of lack. And what you do with your feeling of lack is you go out there and you want to feel more. So you get out there and you do what you're gonna do, and that's not nothing that necessarily, even if your partner wants to support you or wants to be there to work through this with you, if you aren't ready to stop that, to like get into therapy, to work through that part, it ain't nothing that other person can do for you. You know what I mean? So in those situations, it's like, I can't necessarily forgive you, or maybe you can forgive them, but it doesn't mean that I can be here with you while you forgive yourself and work through your own stuff.
I can set you free.
All day.
You got the counters on Milo. That was talking.
So Julia. Nope, I'm gonna start with Felicia. Felicia said that's a no for me. I think she was pertaining to the cheating part. Julia said that's powerful when parents don't speak, children interpret their own dialogue. Then she goes to say we model what forgiveness looks like. You teaching. Who is this little wise woman?
My name is Dom. Follow me on Instagram. Coach Dom. Okay.
And then Felicia said, and that's the problem. They don't want to, as far as counseling.
And do the work.
But you know what? I will say to the last comment, as far as not wanting to, with my ex, a different ex, he wanted to go to counseling. I know, right? I had to make it clear.
My bad. Forgive me, guys.
We know too much.
I know. We talk about so much right here. So it's like, I'm trying to make y'all, so the stories are matching up. But my one ex, he wanted to go to therapy, like he wanted to go to counseling and different things like that, and I just wasn't ready for that. I'm just like, my mind space is not there. I know you want to work on things, I know you want to fix it, but like, I'm not mentally at a fixing point. I'm at I don't want nothing to do with your point, and And I think it's just like I feel like it's one of those things where I had the thought process of, is this relationship even worth going to therapy for? Is it worth doing this with this person in the first place? Because what's the point of going to therapy if you turn around and do the same thing again, or if you're not even going to take, like, if you're just saying this, or are we really doing this together? So that's my thought process on that.
I feel like at the end of the day, you owe it to yourself to forgive.
Valid.
For
Listen,
yourself.
it's going down this morning. Conversation got real good. Make sure you guys check it out. Julia, Felicia, appreciate it. Thank you guys for your comments. Listen, we'll be back in about 3 minutes. It's going down. 5716 Big Frank in the morning. Let's go. Let's get it.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Dante Miles, aka D Belly, aka your city councilman. I'm here at Fire 716 Radio, and I'm asking you to tune in on Thursdays at 11 on our show, The Vault. We're going to be having some conversations that's super relevant, but very important. And sometimes it may be a little uncomfortable, but we're going to make sure that we get our voices out. Come tune in on Thursdays at 11 a.m. and make sure you download the Fire 716 app. See you then.
Deep down and see secrets. I can see that way down in your lower chakra. And that you see, I know that you're moving real different lately. Come here, look me in the eyes, baby. If you got other plans, just be honest. Stand up and be a man, don't forget your promise. What's good with you? You okay? You say you're cool, then you look away. Something's wrong with you, you look repentant, and it ain't hot. So why you sweating? Raise inside your eyes and see secrets. I can look in deep down and see secrets. I can see that way down in your lower chakra. Then that you see, I know that you look inside your eyes and see secrets. I can look in deep down and see secrets. I can see that way down in your lower chakra. Then that you see, I know that the information that I have is metaphysical. I don't need no proof and I don't need no visual. I trust my gut, I hear it loud and clear. You say that's not enough, I say it is, my dear, it is, my dear. I walk barefoot on the soil. The ground whispered to me, told me you ain't loyal. The birds chirping saying you slicker than oil. My intuition is at work, watch it toil. You can't hide. No, you can't lie to me. True love inside your eyes. No, you can't lie to me. No, you can't lie to me. I feel it. I followed you today. I saw you go to her house and I saw you stay about 7 hours. And then I saw you leave. I saw her come to the door, call your name and give you your tie. And then I saw her kiss you goodbye. And then I knocked on her door. She let me in and she told me everything. I saw you gave her the same book you gave me on her coffee table. I saw you gave her the same scarf, too. That was one of my favorites. But I didn't know she was expecting your baby. I felt for her. So I told her, listen, you have nothing to worry about. We're gonna raise that baby. All of us. All three of us. Together. And I told her, hey, welcome to the family.
Fire,
raising the kid together.
Fire 716 Radio. I'm so sorry for those who listened for last week. This song is always the song that gets me.
We're gonna
that
play
is
it
by
all the time.
Zaima
Every day.
Beloved. And the latter part when she the song is good overall. When she gets to talk about, I watched you go into the house, and then I watched you leave. Then I went to the door, and I met this woman and had a conversation.
She let me
and then found out that she was expecting. Well, before that, I found out that the same gift you gave me, you gave her. And then I found out that she's expecting.
Trifling.
And then I told her, let's raise this child together, all three of us.
Come on.
If forgiveness was a person,
come on.
This is the story.
This is it.
Y'all asked about forgiveness.
Yeah. Right.
That was it.
That's forgiving that you're gonna get. Yes. That is the most.
She have her own show still here on the station, so y'all can ask all the dialogue that y'all want.
We got two new questions.
We got two.
Josh was like, "Oh, we got music on the stream."
Yeah.
And then
Shanisha said, "Whose
Shanisha.
song is this?"
That is Damon Beloved. You can find
Goes
her
with
on
the
all-
topic. Well, missed
Might
the
have
first
spelled that
10
out.
minutes, so I think it was on purpose. It was
Hey,
definitely on
Nish.
purpose.
What happened?
She said she missed the first 10 minutes, so she didn't know if it was on purpose or not.
Gotcha.
Oh,
It was very much.
That's
so.
my bestie.
Hey, bestie.
That's my
Damon
best friend. That's
Beloved.
my best
She's
friend.
on social media networks, so not platforms. She's on Spotify, whatever. Where?
All music
Title,
streaming
title,
platforms.
So, getting into some hot topics. And we'll let DeAndre go first with this story.
The daddy do-overs. Okay, so this is what it was on the Shade Room. There's a video of, you said it was Andrew
Caldwell. For
Caldwell.
those who don't know, I'm not getting no more.
Yes.
Ah,
I'm delivered. And then
he got plastic surgery.
yes.
Oh.
and what's the other guy you said?
Other
What's
name
his name?
is Bandman Kevo.
Bandman Kevo.
He
Okay.
a comedian, right?
No, actually, he was a scammer. He was a scammer.
Heavier, stockier.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Animated. Yes.
Animated. Yes, him. Yes.
BBL. Yep.
So I just didn't remember their names, but yeah, they both had surgery, and so a lot of the surgeons been talking about it's okay for the women to go and have mommy makeovers and stuff, but now it's like a thing that is trending is daddy do-overs. So
do me over.
the guy they were both basically explaining no matter how much we were working out and stuff, it was not creating the shape and the ab structure that they wanted. So they both went and had surgery. They had liposuction. They both the one dude, the scammer dude, had a BBL.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
then a BBL. He got BBL.
Okay.
But Andrew was he's like, no, that is where I draw the line. BBL is for women's. So I was cracking up. I was like, okay. But
that's crazy. Everybody
yeah.
wants to draw the line from somebody else, right?
Right.
I want people to be accepting of what I got because I feel like it's okay.
Facts.
But when you did what you did, that's where I draw the line. I feel like we worry too much about other people in that aspect.
Yes.
What is it doing for you?
Right.
Valid.
And that's exactly what some of them were saying was just it's been helping them with their image. And there was another guy who had to get nose surgery, and he's like a singer or something like that. But he got rhinoplasty surgery. And he was just explaining I really did it for helping to open up my nostrils and all this.
I'm sorry. I just had the rhino. I just think the rhino.
Rhino.
It was that
I cannot.
No, it really wasn't that bad, and it really don't look like it's not that big of a difference. But people was really going in on him for having a nose job, and it's just he's explaining how it's benefited his life. So I don't know what your thoughts are, but on men having cosmetic surgery.
Because
no need to report.
Y'all,
that's what I'm gonna say. Do what you do. You ain't got to tell me nothing. No, it's different.
You just don't tell.
You look different. You work okay.
You ain't missing. I was in my healing process.
But no, for real. So y'all know my stance on male enhancements as far as the lace fronts and all of that goes.
Oh,
right.
I'm waiting.
The makeup, all of that. No for me, dog. But when it comes to plastic surgery, me personally, I want some plastic surgery.
I was not expecting you to say that.
Yeah, but not like you think.
Okay.
I want my third toe gone. I got a third nipple.
No,
I don't know.
I cannot.
I just
yeah. Give me. Let me touch the rim.
Oh, you know what that is?
It is
Yeah.
surgery that
So,
they
like,
have now.
Yeah.
I legit wrong height.
Yeah. This dude went from 5'5" to 6 feet. Like,
Yeah, didn't get it.
That's
that's
extreme.
Oh,
you on the knees,
okay.
but you missing the cat. Y'all on the wrong leg.
That was going.
You ever see that meme when they
Yeah.
put their glasses down?
No fact.
That's
but
where I
like-
was at. Like,
No,
okay,
no,
we
no,
were
no.
in a different.
We were
We
here.
were here. and
They
was
were.
But no, like when I get rich, you know what I'm saying? Like right now,
He got that long
do-
extended.
feel me? I just put a stick in the box.
I don't.
I'm
But no.
Oh my god.
So yeah, nah, like I'm not really with the whole super visual, like oh you can tell I done been to the table, and
Right.
got nipped and tucked and
Wednesday, you
yeah,
fat.
you feel me?
I'm
Friday evening, you
Right.
God,
Wait a minute.
God is able.
Last week it was 300.
Now you know black people gonna be you on that stuff.
You on that stuff again? Yo, but yeah.
For me, like I said, I think it's always reporting a thing. There's something that doesn't require report, and I think that if you on a certain kind of shape or whatever, and you're doing your due diligence, this is my concept. Don't go to get your body molded and shaped, and your lifestyle don't measure up to the adjustment.
Come on,
because if you're watching, don't be offended. Because
be offended.
Some of us
don't.
And I'm not against a tummy tuck. I'm not against your BBL, but your lifestyle is still unhealthy, unclean, and you're spreading now sideways. And you're and I'm not. And this is like there's a responsibility that comes with this adjustment. Granted,
it's upkeep.
It's up.
Yeah.
No, that's what it is. And that you can't upkeep. Go, if you just I get the idea of it, but you want to make sure that you have a lifestyle that represents that. If not, you'll be in the same place.
It'll be worse than you thought it was before, honestly, because it's gonna do what it want to do at that point.
Yeah,
that can go wherever it wants to go. Okay,
and also, if you're not financially able to prepare for a lifetime of surgery and reimplant, because stuff get old and get to rot and get this breaking up and breaking down.
The moving.
I think it was I'm using the woman only because it's more popular. Not Keisha Cole, that's not her name. Michelle.
K. Michelle.
Oh yeah. Start getting sick off those things.
But that's actually more common than I think people want to really talk about.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't think people are paying attention to the shift. Is that I always say by the time it make it to us regular folks. And it becomes way more accessible and affordable. There's been a shift somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And then when you see that the trend right now is a lot of celebrities are getting them taken out, whether it's because of reasons like K. Michelle or just they're getting them taken out or they're getting them reduced. Yeah. And so paying attention to stuff like that is like they done had them for years and now they getting them taken out and now it's in everywhere else, and everybody else is getting it done, and it's like, will you have the capacity to take it out at some point if it's not good for you?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm all for people doing. I feel like I'm on two sides of it, right? I'm very much a do what you gonna do. Okay, do what you got to do to make you feel like a good you. And I'm also kind of on the fence when it comes to reporting it, right? So I feel like for years people they're gonna hate you if you do, they're gonna hate you if you don't.
Right.
100%.
So some people are trying to report it, to embrace it, to be like, I'm just gonna bring it to you up front. So there's no, I'm hiding it and this is some secret, because people will bash you about that, right? You hid it, you tried to make it seem like you didn't get surgery, but you really got surgery. So it's like we love to think we have to be in people's business. And then when they don't tell us their business, then it's just both sides of it, right? But I think my concern with surgery overall, male, female, cat, dog, I don't care what you are, is the intention behind it, right? And so I feel like surgery now, okay, I'm gonna fix this. I don't like this, right? So I had a kid, or I didn't have a kid, or I want a bigger butt, whatever the case may be. I get my butt done. Now it ain't big enough, so now I gotta get my butt done again. But now when I got my butt done, I really realized that I really wanted that tummy tuck too. So now I'm gonna get my tummy tuck. And then now my nose, I feel like my nose could be a little bit more. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It becomes an additive thing, and it to me is at what point do you kind of draw yourself a line to say, hey, is this really at a point because I want to empower myself, or am I so self-critical that now I'm actually like hurting myself because I'm going to continue this behavior that could be detrimental to my health, and I don't really know how to stop myself because it's legal, right? It's something I can just do whenever I want to do it. And I wonder sometimes just the mental health side of it. It's like, did we get to the root of why you are unhappy with all these different parts of your body? Is it because you really want a bigger butt, or is it because somebody else told you had a bigger butt, and you always gonna listen to when somebody tell you that what you have isn't enough, and you don't have that capacity to not listen, so now you're gonna keep trying to fix it,
right?
Just what?
Break down the mental of the whole situation.
Okay. Ask yourself which by the end of the day.
You know who surprisingly was talking about that? Which I don't really care for the girl, but I was surprised that she was talking about it, was Kylie Jenner. She was saying that she regrets having all these different surgeries and stuff. So yeah, because she was only like 15, 16 years old, having lip fillers and all these different surgeries on her body.
She was like 17 when she started, right? Getting all the surgery.
I think she was around like 15, 16 when she started having like just the smaller stuff,
probably
like
the smaller things.
Yeah. But she's talking about like, you know, she regrets it, and then now she has a daughter, and she's like, she doesn't want her daughter to see that she didn't have all this surgery and that she doesn't love herself, and that her daughter now in turn shouldn't love herself or love the way that she looks.
That's
and
real.
so,
I take my wig off, you know, when I go home, because I want my daughter to know that you know what I'm saying? No, it's times where I go out and I intentionally wear my natural hair, right? It's nothing wrong with the fact that I want to throw on a wig every now and then, or get this or get that. But I think as a mom, you do start to look at things differently. So it got to a point where I remember my daughter was small. She came to me. She said, "No, I don't like my hair. I want my hair long, like down." And she was a baby, you know, like real small when she was saying this. And I'm like, she is describing hair that does not naturally grow out of her head. And then I'm like, I can't necessarily just be mad at society and what they're presenting to her. What am I presenting to her as her mom, right? And so when I shaved my head, that also was a part of the conversation. I cut all my hair off for like 2 years and just spent the time pouring into my daughter, and she loved her hair. She like, I love my afro, it's so big. We bought her intentional books.
I do that for my mom indirectly. I walk around naked and without my shirt on. love the boy, whatever yourself, whatever this body do. Don't let nobody tell you that.
No, that's valid though.
You really have to do that. We have a 15-year-old, right? And I had to be mindful of like things I say about myself. Right, I know we're not in the same space. I done had kids. She ain't got no kids. So like me saying I don't like something about my body, I'm not really, you know, thinking about it. And then I hear my two girls saying stuff. So I'm like, all right, Dom, you got to be more mindful about what you're saying about yourself, because they don't get, you know, they don't always have that connection. It's kind of like I said, like communicating, right? And so I started having those conversations with them, like, mommy done had kids in this stomach, okay? This body done been through some things, you know what I'm saying? But even so, I'm still gonna love, like, I'm still had to change my language to still be more affirming to myself, because I wanted my kids to learn that now too. I don't want them to be like, oh, my leg's too skinny. Like, girl, one day
Shame.
And a lot of these younger girls, I think that's another concern of mine is surgery is so accessible that you, like Kylie Jenner, you got girls who right at 18 years old are getting these surgeries. And I'm like, sis, do you know the hips you gonna have?
Man,
40, at 30. Somebody said something to me the other day. They was just like, yeah, Dom, I don't know. I said, listen, I didn't know I was gonna be here either.
Yeah.
That's on me, okay? I got a BBL for free at 30. You know,
she
like,
said, you see it.
You know, so they don't think about that too. It's like if you even think about like back in the day when you used to hear like, you know, oh, Perry men at times, you remember such and such, she used to be so skinny. Look at her now. Look at her. You know what I'm saying?
You should have grown up.
Right. We would really realize like we haven't really had those conversations about what is how does your body actually naturally grow through life? What does that look like? We are so busy worried about I want what I want right now and not really understanding like that is going to, for most people, is going to come in time. Maybe not everybody. I always say the BBL butt is a specific booty, okay? That's not the gym booty. I don't care. I've been a trainer. I've been a trainer, and I've had people come to me.
I tell you all the time, whoever is playing with the Play-Doh, they're not good. They're not. The transition from butt to thigh is not as It ain't cuff
math,
prop.
not mathing.
It's not mathing. Like geography.
It's not the
everything
square.
makes sense. You can know it's legit.
Not the right angle.
People go, and I think people just go, and they're like, they hear the concept, like, oh, some of the fat is gonna die. Da, 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 da. They're like, fill it up. Fill it up to the max, and it's like, okay, but what is that going to look like, right?
Yeah.
And don't always take that into consideration, or they go with these like ideals of like, I want this person's butt, but it's like your body might not necessarily be able to handle this person's butt. You know what I'm saying? She's been thick all her life, and you're trying to put that on your body, and that just
come on.
Because some
balance is off.
If you wasn't born with it, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay. If you was born with it, keep it. Don't try to enhance
because
it.
some people get breast reductions, right? They
valid.
I feel like that's different though, because
that's different.
That
you feel me?
Breast hurt your back, and you like, yo, my back.
But there are women, who
women gotta
have
deal with other
smaller
things.
breasts
I
who
deal with.
want that. Like, so it's hard. Yeah,
that's why I say it's like passing judgment is always somebody else in a different situation,
Right.
a different perspective.
So real quick. I'm sorry. Julia said any surgery poses a risk. I wish folks would make a safe decision. Do whatever you choose. Just make an educated and safe choice.
So my wife, but I'm so sorry.
She just said, "Don't embarrass me."
My wife doesn't have huge bosoms. Right? No, valid, but she considered, Frank, I'm only wanna, and I'm like, leave them alone because it's just her body.
My preference is.
I
have a preference. Okay. I know how stuff.
Don't go disturbing my peace now.
I'm working.
She was like, "You really do, baby. You don't know. You don't know."
But you know what? Coming from you, and I hear a lot of men say this, right? Sometimes it becomes like a disconnect, right? Where everything, I mean, all the time, he loves everything, and I'm like, I don't really like this, and he's like, I love it. Like, leave it alone. Leave it alone. And it's like this disconnect because you want to pour, our partner wants to pour this love into us in this way, and then sometimes it's like a disconnect because we don't always feel that way. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And it comes from a lot of different, a lot of different potential places. But yeah.
Listen, y'all,
I don't be trying to pour nothing into her. That's just how I like it.
That's just how I like it.
But you know what? I learned over time too. So I'm like, if you are someone who, over time. So I worked at Victoria's Secret back in the day, like when I was way younger.
Back when we used to walk by it like, shoot, I want to go in there. I don't know what happened in there, but I want to walk in there.
Used to work there, and so I remember when I was younger, I did not like having small chests. I want boobs. So I used to buy these bras. This is definitely a TMI thing, but I used to buy these bras, and they would add 2 cup sizes. These things was like pillows. I tell you, these things was like pillows. However, I would really wear these things. I was wearing them for some time, honey. And then I got to a point where I got older, and I'm like, Dom, if you don't like, these are great. My back don't hurt. I can wear whatever shirt I want to. Who didn't tell me all the benefits of this when I was younger?
Yeah.
But you know what I say that to say is like, if you saw me walking around, you really would have thought I had some things. You know what I'm saying? People was like, oh, Dom, you lost weight. Nope, those were never mine.
No,
thank goodness I, the smaller version of doing that. And I say that to say, like, what if I would have went and got surgery and put something in my body because I really felt like I wanted these boobs. Sure. I just had these little, pillow bras for a couple years, and I realized that it wasn't even what it chucked up to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And now I'm here.
That's
chilling.
Honestly, that's how like when people say about getting the BBL and stuff like that. I just think to myself like sometimes like you don't even know what life is like having a huge. And I'm not even saying this to be funny, but having a big butt, like having an actual huge butt. Like, man, your back hurt, you sit down, you don't get no rest.
You lay back like this.
I'm being so
like you can't lay on your back.
Exercising
your clothes,
hard.
Your clothes fit totally different. Like, you walking by something, you done knocked over everything on the shelf. And like, it's so funny, but think about if that happens every day, how annoying that would be. You know what I mean? Like if you constantly doing that, like, and I like it's little things, but people, I feel like you get these BBLs and like you got this huge ass and you don't even know. Like, yeah, you look great in your jeans, but besides that, there are other things that go on that's like uncomfortable. So I think that it's definitely a.
All right, y'all. It's been good. It's been amazing. We only got a few minutes left before we get out of here. again, thank you, Dom, for coming through and rocking with us.
Yeah, appreciate it.
A pillow. I don't say a pillow of wisdom. Who says that? No one has ever said a pillow of wisdom. What? No, but now that your information, which you give, we thank you this morning for rocking with us for sure. But before we get out of here, just give us go around the table. Our final thoughts. Starting with you, Lenny Mac. What you got for the people?
Oh boy. Okay, I just have to say this because I seen it yesterday and I want to say it so bad. They took AI. This is my final thought. Don't judge me. They took 25 AI creations, like actual computer AI. I can't say people, but robot type things, whatever, and they put them in like a simulation, almost like The Sims, basically, but it's just the AI doing everything, and the whole thing was like, oh, they're more human than we thought, and like all these different things, but they're like, oh, we're years away. My final thought is this, y'all, be prepared for this AI revolution because it is happening.
iRobot.
Like,
I said,
yes, it is happening, and it is happening at an accelerated rate, like really accelerated. So just prepare for that.
I'm about to give me a robot arm just in case.
Yeah.
Dama, what you got for the people? Word of wisdom.
Okay, so to survive means to continue to live or exist in spite of danger, whereas thriving is being empowered and having the freedom to choose how you want to live each day. So that's what I just want to.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
Come on there.
You know,
Come on.
every brick built is a brick sold. So if you don't sell them, you can't build. I'm just saying. No, that's not
snap. Right.
Come on.
Man, that boy speaking fire.
So breaking out of the survival mindset is not an easy task, but it's definitely worth it by making conscious efforts, take care of yourself, setting, you know what? Follow your dream. That's how you get out of this survival. You feel me? Like,
do what you want to do.
If you feel the urge to tell your job, see ya, I'm out, do that. But you got to be prepared for that smoke. Because when I say I'm legit going through it with my family right now, you put yourself in this position. Yes, I did. Because I know that this year is going to amount to a lifestyle that you couldn't even comprehend. So in this season, do what you got to do to make and secure your future.
Come on.
That is it. That is all. I love you. Peace.
The end of the Dark Knight, what you got for the people?
Shoot. All I can say is push through it. What my aunt told me yesterday, she was like, every day not gonna be a bad day. You know, and you ain't gotta be hungry to eat snacks. So, you know, push through it. You know what I mean? That's my advice. Whatever you're feeling, push through that. You got it. I believe in you.
That's real.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, so for shameless plug. For the people who are interested in learning habits to shift from surviving to thriving, I do have a book on Amazon. It's called New Habits Who Dis. It's a planner. It's a 30-day intentional planner to help you make that shift based off your habits. So if that's something that you want to start, you can buy the book and you can start the process yourself, or you can hit me up. You know what I'm saying? I am accepting clients. And then be on the lookout for my next book. I am starting a poetry series. My second book should be published in July, just about shifting from surviving to thriving, but actually being intentional about having the conversations about trauma. So the first volume of the book is literally called why is my brain freezing? Complex Trauma: Experiences of a Little Black Girl. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Ooh, I definitely want to check that out.
Cop it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be there.
Yeah, that's
for
for
sure. I have some other ideas, so I'll talk to you about them after the show. My final thought would simply be have the conversation and just take the smoke. Have the conversation and take the smoke, because you holding it, keeping it in your mind, or trying to figure it out is only delaying the process that's required, that's going to yield your success. Talk about it, write it out, and take the smoke that comes with that, as Kevin said so eloquently through the AI in this personal testimony. I started. It was no, but good, no valid. But I just want you to know that some things just require immediate action to talk about. You're not going to do everything, but you need to begin to address and talk. No, I can't do this. I can do that. This is where we're going. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And yes, it might get hard for us, but it's gonna make sense. Have that conversation and don't make any decision without a conversation with the person that's in effect. It's going down.
Right.
5716, your boy Big Frank. I'll holler at y'all. Peace, love. We'll be back on Monday celebrating our mothers. So if you can get your mother to come on the show, I ain't talking to other two people.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely have them come on the show. They can pull up with you. If not, where they at. I get it. I get it. I get it. It's going down. 5716. Join us on Monday. It's going down. Coming up next, we got Fatima Fridays. It's the party. It's the party. It's the party.
TQ. I am the queen. I am with Felicia Gaddis. Her story, her experience, her wisdom.